A long time ago, a king lived lovingly with his queen. They had only one son. By fate, one day the queen fell seriously ill. The king tried every possible remedy, but her illness kept getting worse. For months, the queen remained bedridden. She knew her life was nearing its end, but her heart was filled with fear and worry for her son. One day, the queen saw a bird's nest in her room. There were two tiny chicks inside. The male and female birds lovingly raised them together. A few days later, the female bird died. To save the chicks, the male bird brought another female bird as his partner. At first, the new bird took care of the chicks, but as soon as she had her own children, she began to mistreat the first bird's chicks. She beat them and one day even threw both of them out of the nest. Seeing this, the queen's heart trembled. She thought, if after my death the king marries again, will my child also suffer the same fate? That evening, when the king arrived, the queen softly said, "My lord, my life is coming to an end. I have one last wish. After me, please do not marry again. No new queen will ever love my son as her own." The king promised, "I will never marry again." But after the queen's death, under pressure from the people, the king had to remarry. The new queen entered the palace. At first, she took good care of the prince. But when she gave birth to two sons of her own, she became completely devoted to them. The elder prince no longer appealed to her. The respect given to the elder prince as the rightful heir became unbearable for her. One day, she plotted a conspiracy. She lay on her bed and began to cry loudly. The king rushed to her, and a physician was called. The queen said, "I will survive only if the elder prince's heart is placed upon my chest." Hearing this, the king was stunned, but he was forced to give in to her stubbornness. He ordered the minister to have the elder prince killed. The minister was deeply saddened by this command. Formally, he handed the prince over to the executioner. But when the executioner took the prince into the forest to kill him, the minister secretly followed on horseback. After convincing the executioner, the minister hid the prince in his own house and sent the heart of an animal to the queen through the executioner. As soon as the queen heard the false news of the prince's death, she was overjoyed. She believed that now her own sons would become the heirs. Slowly, the elder prince grew up in the minister's house, and the minister loved him even more than his own son. Time passed, and the prince grew into a young man. One night, the king had a strange dream. By morning, he became so restless that he decided he must obtain whatever he had seen in the dream. He ordered that the court be grandly decorated the next day and that all ministers, officials, citizens, and princes be present. In the court, the king announced, "In my dream, I saw a mysterious cage in which all the beautiful and wondrous things of the world could be seen. Whoever brings it to me will be given half of my kingdom." Then he extended a betel leaf and said, "Whoever wishes to go may take this." But among thousands of people, no one stepped forward. The court continued for a long time that day. The minister told the elder prince about this. The prince asked, "Will the king hold court again tomorrow?" The minister replied, "Yes, the court will be held tomorrow as well." The next day, as soon as the court began, the two younger princes said, "Please have a ship built for us. With provisions for an entire year, we wish to cross the sea to search for the mysterious cage from the dream." Meanwhile, the elder prince also arrived at the court in disguise. But by then, the two princes had already taken up the betel leaf, so he returned disappointed. After the court ended, he said to the minister, "Please arrange a small boat and provisions for 3 months for me as well. I also wish to go with them." The minister expressed his inability, but upon the prince's insistence, He arranged a small boat and expenses for 3 months. The two younger princes sailed ahead, and the elder prince followed behind them along the seashore. By evening, the two brothers saw an inn along the shore. Just then, someone called out, "Come!" He mounted his boat and continued moving along the shore. As evening fell, the elder prince saw that the boats of the two princes were tied to a tree. The two princes were preparing food beneath the tree. The elder prince decided to spend the night with them as well. All of them cooked food, ate together, and lay down beneath the tree. Slowly the night passed on. The three princes lay under the tree. The two younger princes fell asleep, but the elder prince remained awake, lost in many worries. At midnight, fate and destiny were flying above that tree. Seeing the three princes sleeping beneath it, fate asked, "Why are these three princes sleeping here?" Destiny replied, "This is the world. Who knows where anyone sleeps? Why do you concern yourself with such matters? Come, let us go on our way." But fate stopped there and said, "Until you answer my question, I will not move ahead." Destiny then said, "Listen carefully. These three are the sons of a very wealthy king. Their father saw a mysterious cage in his dream, and they have set out to obtain it. But they do not know where it is." Fate asked, "Where is that cage?" Destiny replied, "That cage is in the underworld, with the green fairy." Fate asked, "How will they obtain this cage?" Destiny said, "The tree under which they are sleeping has roots that go down into the underworld, all the way to the green fairy's chamber. Near this tree, there is a thick opening. If someone goes down through it along the roots, he will surely find the mysterious cage." The two younger princes remained asleep, but the elder prince heard everything. As soon as morning came, he descended using the roots of the tree. In the underworld, in a shining chamber, the green fairy was sleeping. Near her bed was a silver tray containing a magical seal and a silver letter. The letter said that whoever entered this chamber first would have his destiny bound with that of its mistress. If he accepted this bond, he must wear the seal. When the seal glowed, the bond would be considered complete. The prince picked up the seal. It shone with a blue light. At that very moment, the green fairy awoke and said calmly, "My lord, you have accepted the tradition of our realm. Our lives are now bound together. Welcome to my kingdom." After some time, the prince asked, "Where is the mysterious cage?" The green fairy replied, "It is with my elder sister, the red fairy." She gave him an enchanted seal and said, "Keep this with you. It will protect you from the demons of this forest." The prince moved forward with it. On the way, the leader of the roaring demons appeared, but upon seeing the seal, he became calm and personally escorted the prince to the palace of the red fairy. In the red fairy's chamber too, there was the same silver tray, the same seal, and the same written tradition. The prince picked up the seal, and it glowed with a red light. The red fairy awoke and said, "Now your destiny is bound with my life. The mysterious cage is with me, and according to tradition, it is now yours." The prince said, "My father saw the mysterious cage in his dream. I came here in search of it. Now both of you must come with me." When the three of them climbed upward using the roots of the tree, the root suddenly broke and fell down. Above, the two younger princes were waiting for him. But when the elder prince reached the top with the fairies and tried to take the cage, he realized that the cage had been left behind in the green fairy's chamber. The prince became worried. The fairies said, "The tree root was meant for coming and going only once. Now it is impossible to return to the underworld through this passage. The elder prince said to his brothers, "If you want the cage, then help me cut grass. We will make a long rope." He told him everything. The frog consoled him and said, "Do not worry. I will call my companions. Together, we will help you reach the surface." Millions of frogs stood one upon another and formed a living tower. The frog at the very top made the prince sit on his back, and together they carried him from the underworld up to the earth. From there, the prince untied his boat and set off toward the palace. Upon reaching the palace, he learned that the two younger princes had already arrived with the mysterious cage and the two fairies. The next morning, the royal court was convened. The two younger princes proudly stepped forward to present the cage, when suddenly the two fairies spoke. "The one who crossed the terrible dangers of the underworld and brought this cage is our husband. These two princes threw him back into the underworld and imprisoned us along with the cage." Hearing this, the king was shocked, and the courtiers stood stunned. The two princes protested, "No, Maharaj, these fairies are lying. We ourselves brought the cage from the underworld, and we met these fairies there." The fairies replied, "If you truly brought the cage, then tell us where you went in the underworld and what hardships you faced." The princes fell silent. The king then asked, "How shall we determine who your true husband is?" The fairies replied, "Whoever can recount all the events of the underworld and the complete story of bringing the cage will be our husband." The king immediately announced, "Whoever narrates the true story of bringing the mysterious cage from the underworld shall be declared the ruler of half the kingdom and the husband of both fairies." The elder prince was staying in a hut near the palace, and he still possessed the 3 magical feathers he had obtained from the swindler's house, which could change one's appearance. The prince smelled one feather and took the form of an old man. The next day he appeared in the court disguised as an old man. In the court, he told the king that a prince, after overhearing the conversation between fate and destiny, learned the secret of the mysterious cage and went to the underworld to obtain it. There he met the green fairy, who chose him as her husband. Saying this much, the old man fell silent. The fairies looked at him in astonishment. It was clear to them that this was not their husband. Yet how did he know the story? The king asked them, "Is this story true?" The fairies replied, "The story is true, but this old man is not our husband." The king rewarded the old man for the information he had given and announced that whoever told the rest of the story the next day would receive an even greater reward. Returning to his hut, the prince smelled the second magical feather and changed his form into that of a small child. The next day, appearing as a child, he spoke before the court. After marrying the green fairy, the prince went to the red fairy. On the way, many terrifying creatures rushed at him to devour him, but he saved his life by showing the green fairy's seal. Then he also married the red fairy, and it was she who gave him the mysterious cage. Beyond this, I do not know the story. The fairies gazed at the child in wonder. The king again asked, "Is what he has said true?" The fairies replied, "Yes, what this child has said is true, but he too is not our husband." Back in the hut, the prince smelled the third feather. This time, he emerged in the form of a handsome 18-year-old youth. He came to the court and said, "After receiving the mysterious cage from the red fairy, the prince returned to the green fairy. All 3 came out together through the roots of the tree. But upon reaching the surface, They discovered that the cage had been left behind in the green fairy's chamber, and the tree root had also broken and fallen. Then, with the help of the two younger princes, the prince made a strong rope from grass and descended again into the underworld. He retrieved the cage, but as he was coming up, the two princes snatched the cage and cut the rope. The poor prince fell once again into the underworld. This is the very mysterious cage, and these are the fairies whom the two younger princes are presenting as their own. Hearing this, the fairies were utterly astonished. The king asked, "Is this story completely true?" The fairies replied, "Yes, every word of this is true, but this young man is still not our husband." At that moment, the young man took a deep breath, and as the effect of the feathers faded, he assumed his real form. The fairies exclaimed joyfully, "Yes, he is our husband. He is the one who truly obtained the mysterious cage." The prince then said, "Maharaj, I am your eldest son. You had ordered me to be executed, but by the grace of the minister, I was saved. In my place, the heart of an animal was sent to fulfill your command. To honor your wish, I undertook this difficult journey." The king was overjoyed to find his eldest son alive. In honor of his bravery and for bringing the mysterious cage, he declared him the ruler of half the kingdom. From that day onward, the elder prince lived happily in the palace with his two fairies, the red fairy and the green fairy.